Now, back to more of Behind the Scenes at the Hanover Theater. And your host, Lisa Condon.
Thank you for joining us. This is Behind the Scenes at the Hanover Theater. I'm Lisa Condon, and I'm here today with Ted Hudson, our very, very favorite facilities manager. And I say that because Ted does so many amazing things, literally behind the scenes at the Hanover Theater, and he's here to tell us a little bit about that today. Welcome, Ted.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Do you want to tell people a little bit about what you do as a facilities manager? Because I bet some people are not even imagining the great stuff.
Basically, I'm responsible for keeping the theater clean, for keeping the air conditioning going and the heat going, and making sure that the patrons have the best experience possible.
And you know, in a building like ours, that's easier said than done, isn't it?
Definitely.
You know, there are some challenges, I'm sure, some unique challenges with our building. Any that you'd care to share?
I think the biggest challenge is the heating and the cooling. Because of the way the building is laid out, it's very open. And you can be cooling one section of the building and inadvertently heating another section of the building because of that. So it's a balance. That's probably the biggest challenge.
You've made great headway, though, because I remember before you came on board, we really struggled with keeping the upper balcony cool enough and hot enough, right, because of the fluctuating temperatures.
Yeah.
Also, we struggled a little bit with load-in because we opened the big, huge doors into the theater, and that in cold weather lets a lot of cold weather in. And if we've got, say, dancers in the theater, they need warmth to keep their muscles.
That's exactly right. And one of the biggest issues with the theater is that the inside volume is so huge that to bring the heat back up or to bring the heat down and cool it is sort of like trying to turn the Queen Mary in a bathtub.
Well, it's funny you should say that because that sounds a little archaic. And if there's anything that you are, it's not archaic.
Oh, thank you.
Because let me tell you, people, Ted is actually the one that's responsible for that little sticker you see when you walk in the theater that says 80% of the theater's electricity comes from solar power.
Right.
Now, that's a heady statement to me. What does that mean?
Basically, what we did over the last 2.5 years is working in collaboration with a group in Boston. We took part in a program that's only available in Massachusetts and California. It's called virtual net metering. Basically, what that allows us to do is, with an investor, build an off-site solar field. In our case, it's 5 acres, approximately 4,600 solar panels. An investor is found who puts the money into it. And basically what we do, and the way the investor gets his money back, is we buy solar credit units generated by that field. That offsets our regular electricity usage and allows us to contribute to a smaller carbon footprint, as well as save a little money.
Which is great. And that, you know, you all just need to realize that Ted is the one who tells us that we need to remember to turn out the lights when we leave a hallway, our offices.
A constant trial.
You might laugh, but we have a pretty big electricity bill every month.
Yeah, we do. We use almost 1 million kilowatt hours a year. And that's an awful lot of electricity. And our electric bill is probably around $150,000 to $180,000. So the more we can cut it down.
Right. And we are a nonprofit.
That's right.
So one of the things that our money goes toward is obviously to pay our bills. And so if Ted, you can help to save money and to be more green in the process, that's a really great thing.
It's called sustainability, both financial and environmental. And it's one of our objectives and goals.
Absolutely. And so with this new system that we have and some of the things that you're planning for the future, I know at one of our recent staff meetings, you gave us all a pretty impressive number of what we can save per month with this new energy.
Well, what we're going to be able to do is save about $17,000 a month, or a year, I'm sorry, on the solar itself. And then the second stage of our program is actually trying to become more efficient in the usage of electricity by going to such things as LED light bulb replacements, more efficient ballasts in our lights, room controls such as motion monitors, and anything like that that will allow us to reduce our usage of electricity. And we figure that we're going to be able to save another 20% of our electric usage, approximately another 200,000 kilowatt hours a year by doing that.
That is incredible. So how did you get the idea that this would be a good idea?
The way it started is when I first came on board a little over 3 years ago, one of the things that I wanted to do was look at ways to reduce the theater's costs.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that was fairly obvious is that with our high usage of electricity and natural gas for heating, if we could work out a way to reduce that, we could save some real money. It looked like low-hanging fruit at the time. So the original concept was to put solar panels on the roof of the theater. It very quickly became obvious that we didn't have anywhere near enough square footage up there.
Not only that, but Ted, don't forget that's going to be my solar deck.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's where Lisa's bar is going to go up there. And I started looking around for somebody to partner with, and came across a group called Prince LaBelle Ty, which is actually a law firm in Boston. But they have a subsidiary group that works specifically in solar energy. Working with them, we engaged a contractor called Borrego Solar, who's out of California with offices in Lowell. We found an investor. I shouldn't say we. Prince LaBelle found an investor. That investor basically paid for the installation of the facility. National Grid got involved so that we could hook into the grid. And it took about 1.5 years, but we're up and running as of November.
That's great. And, you know, we did all on a staff field trip go and visit the solar field.
Yes, we did. Had our picture taken, and it wasn't a sunny day either.
No, but thanks to Scott Erb, it looks pretty sunny out there at the solar field.
That's right.
It's really interesting, though, you know, to think that in a completely different location, you can have a field that has solar panels on it, and it's generating these credits of energy that then we can tap into as a theater. Is this the wave of the future?
Well, I definitely think so. I think that Massachusetts has demonstrated amply that this is a really good way to go. I mean, about 1.5 years ago, when we were only 6 months into the project, our particular solar farm was going to be a 1.2 megawatt farm, which at the time was either the second or third largest in the entire state.
Wow.
Now we're being dwarfed every month by larger fields of over 3 megawatts. So yeah, it's a thing that can work out very well for both the investor and for the off-taker, which is exactly what we are.
Absolutely. What makes me proud is not only are we one of the top 50 theaters in the world for people coming and buying tickets, but look at this. I think that we are one of the only, if not the only, performing arts center that is really thinking this way.
Yeah, I had looked a little bit to get an idea where we stood. In terms of our relative usage as a theater, there's nobody even close. The closest that I could find is a theater out in Arizona that uses about 30%.
Okay, and they're in Arizona. That's
and they're
just
in
not
Arizona.
fair.
That's true. But right now, with our attempts to reduce energy even more, we should be able to get up to 95% or greater of our usage being covered by the solar credits from that solar field.
That's incredible. Well, good job, Ted. We're really proud of the work that you've done. We're really proud of the initiatives that you've started. What else do you think is coming in the future? You know, you talked a little bit about changing the fixtures. Anything else on the horizon?
Well, once we reach our energy efficiency in terms of electrical, we're also looking at a project that will help us reduce our gas usage even more.
Great.
And the next step after that, and we've just started to look at it, is to pursue LEED certification, which not only includes the components of energy usage, but includes supply chain management, chemical usage, etc. And so that's probably going to be the next program.
That's great. And you know, it's funny because you said chemical usage. What types of chemical usage does a theater?
Cleaning chemicals primarily.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Janitorial chemicals. Yeah.
Well, and I was wondering, are there any backstage materials that fall into that category as well? I'm just asking.
No, I don't believe so. I think in the case of the theater, it's going to be 90% or better, just what we use for cleaning and maintenance.
Well, and how many square feet are we talking about?
77,000 square feet.
That is a lot of cleaning that Dan and Stan and you do, so hats off.
42 toilets.
Wow. That's almost as many windows as I have in my home.
There you go.
Well, anything else you want to add, Ted?
No, I think that's good. The one thing that I would add, I guess, is that the only reason this was successful is because the theater management and the board and the staff have all been 100% behind this. It's been a great group of folks to work with. I think a lot has been accomplished because of their support, and you know, going forward, I hope we can continue down this same vein.
Oh, we will, Ted. We will. Thanks again for your time. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you.